charges, sir. I'll hear them again.
My lord, His Majesty's court contends that the defendants, Mary Reed and Anne Bonny, did piratically, feloniously, and in an hostile manner attack, engage, and take 7 certain fishing boats. Secondly, this court contends that the defendants lurked upon the high seas and did set upon, shoot at, and take 2 certain merchant sloops, thus putting the captains and their crews in corporeal fear of their lives.
Edward James Kenway, born of motley parentage in Swansea, to an English father and Welsh mother. Married at 18 to Miss Caroline Scott, now estranged.
She's a beautiful woman, I am told, but not at all well these days.
If you touch her, you bastards, I'll...
Quite a surprise finding you here rotting in a Jamaican prison. We heard rumors that you had taken up with the pirate Roberts.
If you know the observatory's location, tell us now, and you'll be out of here in a flash.
Rogers can hold these British hounds at bay, for a time. But this will be your fate if you fail to cooperate.
You, Mary Reed and Anne Bonny, are to go from hence to the place from whence you came, and from thence to the place of execution, where you shall be severally hanged by the neck, till you are severally dead, dead, dead!
Oh, Ross!
May God in his infinite mercy be merciful to each of your souls!
We're pregnant! Do you all hear that?
What the devil did she say?
They plead their bellies, my lord.
Aye, you can't hang a woman quick with child, can you?
Quiet! Quiet! If what you claim is true, then your executions will be stayed, but only until your terms are up.
Then I'll be up the duff the next time you come knocking.
Remove them!
Okay. I have about 15-20 minutes to play. How far can I get through?
What's your name?
Minutes later.
Kenmore? Conway?
It's Walpole, ain't it?
Walpole? Where'd you get that?
Well, that's the rumour going round. As dirty and daft a pirate as ever sailed these West Indies.
Progress tracker. After escaping from almost a year of imprisonment.
His name. Gotta make sure he suffers without dying. Orders from the governor. And back to the prisons at sundown.
And massage his feet if he's aching, shall I?
Stop your twaddle!
Hey! Oi! You stop that! Hey!
Stop your twaddle!
Okay.
This is a warning.
Hello.
Hey!
Good morning, Captain Kenway. I have a gift for you. Do not mistake my purpose here. I have come for Anne and Mary, and you owe me nothing for this. But if you would lend me your aid, I can promise you safe passage from this place.
I'll need weapons.
You are comfortable with this, I am told. We must hurry.
Okay. Reach the present entrance. What suits around here? Nothing?
to get away.
Because, of course, he doesn't jump where I want him to. Ever. I need to get into there. Visit old friends, one of two.
Alarm! Help me, damn it!
He's a slippery bastard!
Fuck me. Okay, come on.
Get the intruder!
Okay. Go visit this guy since he's a friend, or was a friend.
You weren't much of a friend, Jack Rackham, nor an able sailor neither. But you were strange and lively, and you made me laugh more than once. And that's enough to make me sorry for seeing you like this. I hope you found a lasting peace, down there among the dead.
Okay, which is the best way to get up? This way? Maybe? Figure out how to climb the fucking tree? Okay. Buddy boy there, buddy boy there. Buddy boy there. Come on.
Eastward for the dog.
Intruder! I need some help here!
Hurry up, man! We'll get him out! Both flanks, lad.
Didn't know I actually had it on me.
Stop, I tell you!
Let me out. You're not losing us. Faster.
He's a little pissed, I'd say.
Long.
Bullets. Money, money, money. Smoke bombs. Oh. in the prison. Oh, I hear you, Charles. Nope. Nope. Let's go talk to the nutcase here.
Hello, Vane. I'd caught wind you'd been discovered and brought here. Didn't hear what happened after, though.
Don't me!
Best of luck to you, mate. I wish we'd parted as friends.
Okay, what does it say here about these two? People. And Bonnie. Charles Vane. Died 1721 Jamaica. Read all that, read all that. For the next few months, these homeless buccaneers sailed about the Bahamas, making homes of coves and inlets, trying to find a place to settle down. In November 1718, Vane even sailed north to the Carolinas to meet with Ed Thatch, hoping to convince his old friend to rejoin the old gang and take Nassau back from the British hands. When Thatch refused, Vane was out of ideas. Weeks later, Vane was sailing back to the West Indies when a French brigantine crossed his path. Having ideas of his own, Vane declined to attack. This didn't sit too well with some of his crew, most notably Calico Jack Rackham, who had come to loathe Vane's dictatorial captaining style. Shortly after Vane's refusal, Rackham and a number of those loyal to him mutinied, deposing Vane and settling him adrift in a small sloop. Some weeks later, Vane found himself marooned on a small island somewhere south of Cuba. He spent many weeks in isolation there, though it was suspected he must have come in contact with fishermen who were known to frequent the area. But for whatever reason, Charles Vane kept to himself until he was able to hail a passing British ship. Unfortunately for him, the captain of the ship recognized him as Vane, the notorious pirate, and refused to bring him aboard. More weeks passed, and Vane was at his wit's end. At last, another British ship sailed past, and Vane clambered aboard. He did his best to keep to himself, but in the cruel twist of fate, the captain of the first ship happened to be aboard this second. He spotted Vane after only a few days at sea and pointed him out to the captain. Vane was arrested on the spot and sailed back to Kingston for trial. There he languished for almost a year in prison before his execution in early 1721. A sad whimper of a fate for a man once so full of explosive and angry energy. Stede Bonnet. Born into Plentitude. So at some point around his 29th birthday, his restlessness got the better of him, owing to some discomforts he found in a married state, which brought on a disorder of the mind. Stede decided it was time to take his first bold steps into the life that he always dreamed about. Using his considerable fortune, he either purchased a boat or had one built for him, a small schooner he christened the Revenge. To maintain some semblance of the comforts he had come to enjoy as a man of means, he installed a full library in the captain's quarters and packed his wardrobe with all manner of finery: silk pajamas, smoking jackets, and frocks. Near the end of 1717, his ship was ready. He bid adieu to his wife and remaining children and weighed anchor, sailing north from Barbados, hoping to reach the British colonies within a few months. He would never see his family again. Now sailing under the moniker Captain Edwards, Bonnet hailed about the West Indies looking for his first prize. Spotting a large Spanish warship, his crew foolishly encouraged an attack. After a brief engagement, almost half of Bonnet's crew was dead or injured. Miraculously, the Revenge was able to escape capture herself, and Bonnet ordered the crew to sail her to the only place he knew that he could find refuge, Nassau. It was here in the pirates' infamous Republic that Steed met and befriended Captain Thatch, the infamous and capable captain who recently had taken to calling himself Blackbeard. Thatch managed to convince Bonnet to hand over the Revenge's reins, leaving Steed happily confined to his cabin. The two sailed about as unlikely partners for some months until Blackbeard took a far greater prize for himself, the Queen Anne's Revenge. After keeping Bonnet's Revenge in his own fleet for a short time, Blackbeard suddenly abandoned her along with most of its crew. Bonnet was again free to seek his own path. Perhaps believing he had been properly mentored under Blackbeard's tutelage, Bonnet struck out for the Danish island of St. Thomas, hoping to earn a privateering commission. But his crew had other ideas. Plunging headlong into piracy once more, Steed's crew lashed out recklessly at every prize they could find, resulting in their capture some months later near Cape Fear, North Carolina. While Steed awaited trial, numerous people came forward as witnesses to attest the good quality of his character, but this came to nothing, and after one botched escape attempt, Steed was finally walked to the gallows in December 1718. As the hangman slipped the noose around his neck, he broke down, in tears begged for mercy. The sight of his abject shame moved many to tears, but it was not enough to save him. The gentleman pirate was no more. Died 1721. Quite possibly the latter, for he soon found himself involved with another man's wife, the fetching Anne Bonny, a woman 20 years his junior. When their relationship was discovered, Anne's husband was so appalled by his wife's infidelity that he tried to have her arrested and whipped. Rackham offered to pay for a divorce, but the husband would not hear of it. At their wits' end, Anne and Jack decided to elope and return to the seas as pirates. Joining the crew was Mary Reed, still passing as a man. Together the three set off in search of a fresh sip of freedom, but they did not get far. Within 4 months of their flight from Nassau, they were captured by authorities and brought to trial. Jack was kept in a prison in Jamaica, perhaps in a cell near his old rival Charles Vane. A few weeks later, he was hanged and his body gibbeted just outside Port Royal on a small islet now called Rackham's Key. Yeah, none of them really came to good ends, did they?
You won't lose us that easily.
Find Mary and Anne. Free Mary.
Mary? Mary, it's me, Edward.
Edward? Who's this fella?
It's all right, Anne. He's a friend. What's wrong with Mary?
She's ill.
And her child?
They took her. No idea where. Oh! Oh! Oh!
I know it pains my lady, but we must be silent. Can you walk? Lean on me, Mary. Come on.
I can't.
Search every cell!
Come on, that's it.
Come on.
You're all right.
Stop. Stop, please.
I ain't leaving you, damn it. Lift your arm.
Come on, Mary.
It's no good.
Don't want to be given birth in the prison in the 1600s. It's not a good time for women.
I ain't leaving you nowhere. No bloody way.
Put me down, Edward. Don't die on my account. Go.
This is such a pain in the ass. Damn it. You should have been the one to outlast me.
I've done my part. Will you?
If you came with me, I could. Mary.
I'll be with you, can we? I will.
Search every nook and cranny!
Because he doesn't want to leave her there. He's so sweet. Such a gentleman. Where did I drop her? Stay out of his sight.
What's happened to Mary? What's wrong?
Is she gone?
I know. Oh, God! Oh!
What will you do now?
Nothing sensible.
You haven't earned this, but they suit you. Good fortune to you, Edward Kenway.
And he's piss drunk. Piss drunk.
Mark.
bottle. I see some colour first.
Will this do? In all your years out here, you could never achieve what I've done in 1/5 the time. Because you're a good man, Edward, see? Goodness is your disease.
That's my prize, Roberts. Give it here!
Remember my creed, boy. A short life and a merry one, that is all. The world owes us nothing more than this. So take what you will, and then die before you live to see yourself made a fool.
Give it here.
That's right, boy, take it.
I'll sweeten you, maggot. I'll cut you down!
Not when you're piss-ass drunk.
Calm, little puppy, and slink back to your kennel. You haven't the mettle for my brand of madness.
Roberts! Welcome aboard, Kenway. It's prizes, plunder, and adventure ahead. Are you game? Out of my way, Ben.
Raise a glass to freedom, lads. Here's to gentlemen of fortune and women of leisure.
To a world full of rogues, better than all the kings and queens that kick us about.
As gentlemen of fortune, we enjoy plenty and satisfaction, pleasure and ease, liberty and power. What man with a sensible mind would choose the former life? For I have dipped my hands in muddied waters, and, withdrawing them, find 'tis better to be a commander than a common man!
Going through a bit of a crisis, are you, Edward? Wee bit of a crisis.
Swooped down on powerful wings to seize a grazing lamb and carry it off to the field. Flying close by, a jackdaw saw the deed, and it filled his head with the idea that he too was just as strong and capable. So, with a great flapping and rustling of feathers, the jackdaw came down swiftly and clutched at the coat of a large ram. But when he tried to fly away, he found he could not lift the animal, for his size and strength were not up to the task. And even as the jackdaw struggled, the ram hardly noticed. Nearby, just across the field, the shepherd saw the fluttering bird and was quite amused. Running up, he captured the jackdaw and clipped its wings. He gave the jackdaw to his children as a gift. What an odd little bird it is, Father, they laughed. What do you call it? This is a jackdaw.
No more than 2 years! You promised me!
You left! When I needed you the most!
But you had me! What keeps you wondering? Do I not make you happy?
I'm so close, Caroline! Please! Just let me do this!
Is everything you do out of spite, Edward?
It's not spite that's driving me, Mary! It's courage!
Courage for what, man? There's no one left in your life to care.
God damn you! I can handle this!
Loud! Always tearing down when you could be building things up, or building yourself up if nothing else.
Just leave me be!
Change course, Edward! Change your bloody course before it's too late!
What did you say? I do believe. And he's still piss-ass drunk. Ah, there he wakes up. Just in time for me to get ready for work there, little boy.
Captain Kenway!
You look like a bowl of plum duff.
Christ. Oh, I've got a head for 10.
On your feet.
You put me on the spot, Addy. After leaving me with Robert, I should have hard feelings about seeing you here. But mostly I'm bloody glad.
Me too, brother. And you'll be tough to know your jackdaw is still in one piece.
Shall we set sail? You're leaving?
Aye, Edward. I have another calling elsewhere.
Ade, listen.
When your heart and your head are ready, visit the assassins. I think you'll understand then.
Okay. Let's do check out these two. Mary Reed. Died 1721, Jamaica. Official records of her activities do not appear until around 1720. A ship she had been sailing on was taken by pirates who were subsequently arrested. In order to avoid a swift execution by Governor Rogers in Nassau, Mary took the king's pardon, and there she settled. Whether or not this was a front for more secretive activity, it's hard to say. It was at this time, however, that Mary met and befriended the much younger Anne Bonny. The two became close friends, as Anne reportedly saw through Mary's disguise rather quickly. Unfortunately, Anne's beau, Jack Rackham, did not, and Mary was compelled to reveal herself as a woman to avoid a pointless altercation. According to recently unearthed documents, we know that some of Governor Rogers' administrators were eventually made aware of Mary's status as a woman, likely on account of Rackham's big mouth. In any event, Mary Ann and Jack did not hang around Nassau for much longer after their meeting. At some point in the late summer of 1720, the trio raised a small crew and stole a schooner docked in Nassau's harbor. For 3 months, they pirated and pillaged, with Anne and Mary taking the lead whenever their self-appointed Captain Rackham was indisposed from drink. Unfortunately for all, Rackham's incompetence also landed them in more trouble than they could handle, and in 1720 their ship was set upon by the British. According to reports, only Anne, Mary, and one unnamed young man were fit enough to resist, and resist they did. Miraculously, only the young man died in the ensuing fight. Anne and Mary were arrested, as were Jack Rackham and the rest of his crew, after they awoke from their drunken stupors below deck. Taken to Kingston for trial, their executions were stayed after the women announced they were many months pregnant. Mary languished in jail until her term was up. Unfortunately, just days after giving birth, she died of a severe illness or infection, likely caused by the terribly unsanitary conditions of her captivity. It is not known what happened to Mary's child. In which the mysterious Bartholomew Roberts requested of Edward Kenway a favor in exchange for a glimpse of the observatory, to which our hero agreed, at which time this pair of captains did raid and loot a chest of blood filled with crystal vials from a Portuguese Templar's ship, much to Robert's satisfaction, whereupon Roberts was pleased and agreed to show our hero the prize he had so long sought. Yet only after Edward agreed to dispatch the pirate hunter Ben Hornigold then tailing them, and past doing this sad deed, Edward did get his glimpse at the observatory, a strange device capable of seeing through another man's eyes, after which Bartholomew Roberts betrayed and imprisoned Edward Kenway, and threatening to deliver our hero into British hands for safekeeping, as Adewale and the rest of the Jackdaw's crew sailed off in solidarity and safety.
What might you be requiring?
get too cozy there, cat. I'm not staying.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know, you're right there. And now you have to get off of me because I have to get ready for work. Off.